Hello guys, it's Egbo J20 back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Memu Android emulator app for PC. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell for more videos. So Memu is an Android emulator app meant for gaming, created by the Chinese company Microvid, and in today's video I'll be telling you everything about Memu. I've used this app for like 2 years now, and I want to show you guys my experience on this app and tell you all about it and the pros and cons of Memu. So in Memu's website, they say that their Geekbench score is 15,696, and they said it's better than other Android emulators. We can already see which ones these are. Like this one is Nox, and then the other one is BlueStacks, and the rest of them. So they're trying to say that their Android emulator is much better in CPU. Also on the Memu side, they also claim to have a high GPU on Antutu, that for the points they got for Antutu were 835,617 compared to the other Android emulators. So Memu here gave their minimum requirements, which is 2 cores x86/x86_64 processor, Intel or AMD CPU, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, latest version of Windows DirectX graphics driver with OpenGL 2.0, hardware virtualization technology, which should be enabled in the BIOS, and 2 GB of RAM, 4 GB for a 64-bit system, and 5 GB of hard drive space. They said that it can run under these minimum requirements, but if you want the best performance, you have to have higher requirements, which I'll talk about right now. But in a way, I feel like I don't fully agree with these minimum requirements, and I'll get to that in some other part of the video. So for the recommended specs for the best performance on Memu, you need Windows 10 with virtualization enabled. So if you don't understand what virtualization means, it basically means that if you enable virtualization on your computer, which you have to do on your OS, you make this app to be faster. But if you still don't understand it, you can always go on the Memu website, which I'll link in the description, so you can understand this virtualization, how to enable it on your computer. They have an FAQ that will explain all this stuff very well. So for CPU, they say you need single thread passmark score of 1500 or above for Intel or AMD multi-core. You can even click on the links. As if you go on the site, you'll see this stuff, and you can click on the links to find the passmark of your own and computer, and you can just find more information. And then for graphics, you need Intel or Nvidia ATI onboard or discrete controller with a passmark score of 750 or above. You can as well click on the link to find more about your video card. Basically, you need the latest version of Windows DirectX 11 or graphic driver of OpenGL 4.5 or higher. For the hard drive, your space must be 10 GB of storage or higher. And then for your internet connection, has to be a broadband connection. And if you look at here, they said notes that higher Android versions require more RAM and disk space. The higher end games installed on Memu will require more RAM and disk space. It's not recommended to run Memu Play in another virtual machine software. It's worthy to update the graphic driver or switch graphic card if it has compatibility issues. So basically, they're trying to say that you need like a gaming PC or a gaming laptop if you want to play this Memu very well. If you want to play the best games, you need a gaming PC or a laptop. That's if you have one, or if you have a laptop that has very high specs, then trust me, it's going to play well. So here are the specs of my own laptop here. So I kind of have some of the specs here, but virtualization on my laptop isn't working, and also I also have DirectX 11 installed on my laptop, so maybe we can hope for the best or worst. But let me just still play some games and tell you my feedback on this app. One thing I noticed about this meme is that some games refuse to install. It would tell me fail to install app, please switch your 64GB Android version image and reinstall it. And I just reinstalled this app and it's still telling me the same thing. Like, I don't understand. I just got the latest version and it's still telling me the same thing. And this my laptop is already a 64-bit laptop, so I don't understand what they mean by version image. Like, this is actually confusing me. And there's some apps that will just be stuck on installing and it won't install at all. So let me give you some of the list of the apps that I tried installing that I wanted to play, but it did not work. Look at the list right here. Also, one other issue I ran into was that some games needed the Google Play services to work before I could play them. But the thing is that I didn't put my Gmail account there. I just wanted to test and see the games that would work without using a Gmail account. Well, many people are scared of Chinese apps because they can look through your data and steal your information and stuff. So which is why if you're scared of that, I would recommend that you make a dummy email. You can make like another Gmail account or something that you don't use, that you don't care about. You can log in inside of here, and then if something should ever happen, nothing will ever happen to you. Like, that's just what you could do if you wanted to. So with that out of the way, let's start playing some games right now. This is what you guys have been waiting for. Okay, so first of all, I tried to play Temple Run and Temple Run was having issues. I couldn't tilt in the game. So what I did was that I had to use the tilting feature in the key mapping option and then try to tilt, but then tilting still wasn't working. I also couldn't jump or crouch in the game as well. So what I now did was that I had to basically use two buttons to try and emulate the jumping, but jumping still wasn't working. I was getting wonky controls, like I was sliding, jumping, and doing some other weird stuff in the game, and I don't really understand why this is happening. Like, for real, I don't understand why this is happening. Memu, you have to actually fix this app up. Like, some games that use this tilt feature are not even working properly. Like, I don't understand. So next I played Asphalt Nitro, and for Asphalt Nitro, I was able to play the game properly. So first of all, I tried to use tilting in the game and tilting was not working. It kept giving me some unresponsive and wonky controls. I couldn't even control it very well. So what I had to do was I had to use the touch controls in the app. I had to change the settings in the game to make it to become touch controls, and I had to now map the touch controls in the app, which was much easier and I could play it well. But however, the game is slowing down. Like, I don't understand why it's slowing down. Like, my laptop has 8 gigs of RAM, and I don't understand why this game should be slowing down, even though all the apps were closed. Only that one was open, except for my screen recorder that shouldn't really affect this. It was still not functioning well. Like, it was slow but playable. Okay, so next up is beach buggy racing. So when I played beach buggy racing, it was working. So I used the touch controls as well that I used in Asphalt Nitro, and it was working well. But however, it's still kind of slow. But I feel as if this performs a bit better than using Asphalt Nitro, than playing that game. I feel as if it performs a bit better. But then the tilting also does not work. Like, the tilting was just making the controls to be unresponsive and wonky, and I didn't really like the tilting. So I recommend that you should use the touch controls instead. So next I played Dungeon Quest. So Dungeon Quest is an RPG game. So then I picked the female avatar because though I'm a female, I'm a girl. So then anyway, I played the game and I used the control mapping and the game was working fine. So I was shooting arrows, everything. Just that the game is a bit slow, but I still can play the game. It still runs well, but just not as good. As I said, it's recommended that you have a high-end PC or a gaming PC or something that has high specs if you want to play this Memu very well. So now I tried to play broken down to HD, and as you can see, the gameplay is just very slow and laggy. Like, I couldn't even move well, I couldn't even press some of the buttons well because of it was slow and laggy. Like, this thing is just very slow. Like, to be very honest with you, this is so slow. Like, I thought that I was gonna have fun in this with this game. I remember the original version of Memu, this app wasn't even working at all, and it was just annoying. So then, but now I like that it's working here now and I can play it, but it's just that this is really slow. It's playable but slow. If you're someone who can play slow games, then this is, you can actually play this. But as I said, you need a high-end PC if you want to run this stuff very well. Anyway, so I played my favorite RPG game, which is Revenant Dogma. So the game is like a Final Fantasy clone. Like, if you play Final Fantasy before, that's how this game is. And basically, I was playing the game and the game was also slow. I wasn't expecting things to be slow, because if you see in the game now, there's sprites. Whenever they're not fighting, they're actually like sprites. So I was expecting the game to not run like that slow. I was expecting things to run a bit faster, and then what happens next is that when you're now in the 3D part, it runs very slow. I can understand if you're running slow in the 3D part, but for the 2D aspect, it shouldn't run that slow. Like, well, what can I do? Okay, so I now tried to play Nova Legacy, but then whenever I tried clicking on Nova Legacy, the game would crash. It would tell me unfortunately the game has stopped working, and the game wouldn't even open, it just would stop working, and I don't understand why it's doing that. So I decided to play the big boy of games, PUBG Mobile. And one thing I actually didn't understand with this PUBG is the fact that it wouldn't accept my internet connection. I opened the app and the app was working, everything, but it said your internet connection doesn't work, like internet connection error. And I don't understand, because my Wi-Fi was very fast. I was even downloading more games to play for this video, and it was running very fast. It wasn't stopping at all. I was even watching YouTube videos, watching Instagram videos, and it wasn't stopping or lagging. It was running very fast, and I don't understand why it wouldn't accept my internet connection. The same thing happened with Dream League 2021. It was still doing the same thing. I even closed the apps and tried it again, and it was still doing the same thing. But then when I now played Among Us wasn't doing that. I don't understand why the game Among Us requires internet to play. But if you want to play the online game with people, I don't understand why it worked for Among Us, but it wouldn't work for PUBG and all that. I think probably you need a wired internet connection or broadband, as it stated on the website. I think that's what you need to play some of these games. But maybe you should actually place it in such a way that at least if you have Wi-Fi, that it should still work anyway. Because I don't understand why I can't play PUBG or Dream League. Like, it doesn't really make any sense at all to me, in my opinion. So I tried to install 2 Android games now, but then what happened was that the apps disappeared whenever the thing is meant to install. I don't understand what is going on. So then I tried to install Shadow Dead 1 and Shadow Dead 2, and when I tried to install them both, the apps would disappear. I don't understand why it would disappear, like, for real. Like, I really don't understand why these apps would disappear. I don't understand why they wouldn't let me install the thing. They could just have showed me the message that this thing will not work on the 64-bit stuff. It would be more understandable than for the apps to disappear. Like Memu, you have to explain why my apps are disappearing whenever I try to install the app. Like, this isn't good for you. So one thing I noticed about the file manager is this. So for the file manager that is installed in this app, that when you install the app you get the file manager. So one thing I've noticed about the built-in file manager of this Memu is the fact that you can't copy or paste anything, you can't move or do anything, you can only see files, you can't do anything else with the files. So I tried to play some videos I put in the app and it wasn't working. I tried playing music, I tried even looking at the screenshots and pictures I took, and it still wasn't working on this file manager. So I had to now install ES File Explorer, which is a very nice file manager, but you can put any other file manager you want which best suits you. So for ES File Explorer, this will let you copy and paste files more fluidly, and also I was even able to play some music files like this music file here. Here's an example. And then I tried playing the video file, but then the video file was the thing that was having the issues in this stuff, so I can't even play videos on this app. So then I put a 1080p video and it was not working, like it kept on cracking and all. So I now decided, let me put the 720p version of that same video, and it still was having the same issue. It wasn't even playing well, it was kept on cracking and all that. I didn't understand, so I now put a 480p version of that video and was playing it, and then it kept doing the same thing again. It was just running a bit better than the 720p and 1080p, but it was still running slow, very slow. So I now put a 360p version of the video and it was still doing the exact same thing. I don't understand. I don't think videos work here at all. For the fact that something that low, of that low quality, cannot work here, it just is really messed up. I don't understand. So here are my final thoughts on this Android emulator. It's really cool that you can use an Android system on a computer, and it's just very nice, but this app still has a long way to go. We already have a lot of issues with the app, like some tilting games do not work, like how I tried using Temple Run, Asphalt Nitro and Beach Buggy Racing's tilting mode, and tilting still was not working. And also the fact that games run here very slowly, the file manager doesn't work well, you can't copy things, you can't even open files without having the error, without using an external file manager, and even videos on this stuff are also performing very bad, like it's very not good. And then the fact that some apps are missing when you try to install them, they disappear. Some apps are having errors installing, and some of them are stuck on installing. And then the fact that this keeps on crashing a lot, like this video took me days to make because the fact that it kept on crashing, it keeps on crashing. It's only sometimes that this will not crash, and I use the opportunity to be able to record this video, and it's just really stressful. And also, one thing I also wish is that, like, if you're playing all these like portrait games, I wish that you know how the background is just empty and stuff. I wish that they could actually use a mock-up. Like you could use the app's icon and blur it in the background. Like here's an example of what I mean. And also for the portrait mode of this app, I also wish that they could make it that it won't go landscape while being in portrait mode. Like this would all actually work for all these like apps that have landscape and portrait mode. I wish that you could actually switch through them fluidly, but you can't do it on this app, and it's something that I really wish that they could fix. And another problem with this app is the fact that some internet games do not work. Like when I tried out Dreaming 2021 and PUBG, and it was not working at all. Even though my internet was very, very fast, I was watching so many YouTube videos and watching so many videos on Instagram and recording and all that, and yet it still isn't working. But Among Us was working for some reason. I don't understand why. Is it because the broadband connection that it won't work? Like I don't really understand why it wouldn't accept my internet. Like, is it that the app is the thing having the issue or my internet? But I don't understand. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And also, as I said, I do not agree with the Geekbench and Antutu scores on their site. Why don't I agree? Simple. Okay, so what if you had a low powered PC and then you ran all those stuff? You can't have the same score. It's not possible. So if I should have run like Geekbench and Antutu on my own computer, would it work the same way? I think I should make another video, even using Google Play, because some apps they didn't want to install using Google without Google Play services. So I think I'll also try to log into my Gmail and see if I can like install some of these apps and everything and show you guys how they're working. Also, as I said, I don't fully agree with those places, because what if now you have a low powered computer or a high powered computer, like it doesn't show, as in would the scores be the same? At least for the site, they should indicate what system they used to get that score. That's something I actually want them to do. Like for phones now, phones have their lower end phones and higher end phones. If you use the Geekbench or Antutu on the lower end phone and use it on the higher end phone as well, the scores won't be the same because of the fact that it's lower end and higher end. So I don't understand how you can get the exact same score on the app. Like it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I just hope that Memu can fix most of the problems. I think I'll make a part 2 of the video with Memu using some more things as well, testing out some more things to show you guys. And anyway, be sure to just like this video, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell for more videos. If you have any opinions, comment below. Even follow my social media page in the description of the video, and I hope I see you guys next time. Peace out.